Visalaw is the first immigration intelligence platform built by immigration lawyers for immigration lawyers. We built it to support every area of an immigration law firm's work, not just research, not just drafting, but the full practice of immigration law, restoring attorneys' time for client advocacy. It starts with data. Visalaw AI is built on the largest and most robust immigration law dataset available, curated by immigration attorneys and continuously updated. Every feature, workflow, and AI capability is grounded in authoritative immigration law. The platform is built with enterprise-grade security, and customer data is never retained or used to train AI models. Our improved case law tools deliver faster, deeper legal analysis with clear authority, stronger context, and reliable citations you can trust. Our new research agent goes further. It identifies your practice area, checks live government sources for policy changes through GovSync, searches the full catalog of US case law, statutes, and regulations when needed, and verifies every citation before results reach you. Visalaw AI. This is immigration intelligence you can trust.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Will. My name is Ian Schiller. I'm here with Visalaw AI, and I'm here with Will Diebold from Visalaw AI. You can tell we're both wearing the same shirt today. So glad to be with you. Glad everybody is joining us here today to talk about EB to NIW work. And we're going to show you today how Visalaw AI can assist you in that work, assist you in that case prep, whether you're a paralegal, whether you're an associate, whether you're an attorney, all steps here are applicable to everybody who's doing this kind of work. We're going to show you just the power that Visalaw AI has in accelerating this stuff. Before we get started here, a couple of housekeeping items. I would love if you could answer the poll that you see below my head here. Are you a current Visalaw AI user? You can type 1 or 2. Those are the only things you need to type, and you can post them into the chat, to the comment section. And let us know if you are currently using Visalaw AI. You're a subscriber, you've been using it, you're on a free trial, anything like that. You're here to learn more about how to use the product and get some deeper knowledge. Or maybe you are new to Visalaw AI, you're just learning about it. This is maybe one of your first instances of seeing it. This will help us as we sort of walk through some of the steps today in how we frame this and explain it. And it's just good information for us to know as we get through today. So I see some people answering the chat right now, so thank you so much for that. John and William, thank you guys for answering the poll. I would love for you guys to continue to answer that and let us know who is here and where you're coming from. If you are not familiar with Visalaw AI, we are an immigration intelligence platform. So, what that means is, we're not your traditional AI technology company. We are really working to assist immigration lawyers specifically with the day-to-day problems that they're focusing on in their workflow, and just figuring out how we can bring in data, how we can bring in our law library, which is the largest in the world, to help assist you with these problems with the power of AI. So obviously, we're all sort of coming off the heels of some pretty major news from DHS. And so I want to show you just one of the, I think, really neat and simple applications of Visalaw AI here real quick in relation to this news. So I'm going to close the poll for a moment. You can still answer that. I'd still love to know your answers. Close that for a second. And so, Will, I'm going to share my screen here. And this is something, we're going to see our law library here up on the screen. This is really the backbone of Visalaw AI. It's the largest immigration-specific data set in the world. We have data coming in from all sorts of sources, and this helps power our answers. It provides you with the context, the authoritative citations that illustrate your answers, that give you the context that you need to do your legal research. So we obviously got some news from DHS recently, and this is something you can find in the Visalaw law library here. So you can see date uploaded was the 24th when this news came out yesterday on Monday. And so we got this into the law library, and you can actually preview the publication here. You can read the whole thing if you need to. You can download this as well. Could be helpful to have on hand. But the thing that I want to show you specifically that I don't think a lot of Visalaw AI users are aware of, and that is file insights. So I'm going to click on this, select the document, and then I'm going to go to file insights here. This is going to allow me to ask questions of this document. So for example, I might just ask, provide a short summary of the information in this. Very, very simple. Something that we could do as this came in and we're just trying to wrap our arms around this, figure out what is happening here. And so we get our short explanation here. So like I said, proposed rule that would add a new fee to all H-1B cap subject petitions. So obviously major news, something to understand here. And so this is, just a very short summary here. This might be something as well where I might say, hey, produce a client memo based on this info that I can send in an email. Super simple stuff, super applicable. So ask that question. We'll see what it can do with this quickly. So, and you also get your sources here as well. A lot of this stuff should be coming from this document specifically. It looks like there's some additional things here as well, but you get those citations. Those are the things that we are interested in. So we get our short client memo here. We want to alert you clients of this information. That may be hard to see, so I'm actually going to increase my screen size a little bit. But needless to say, this is a function. This is why you come to these sessions, because you can get some little insights and tidbits like this. File insights is a really, really powerful way to, if you need to go into a specific document, you have breaking news like we had on Monday, and you need to figure it out. You need to figure out what you need to do for your clients and for your team. This might be a good way to use this. So you could copy and paste this if you needed to. You could copy this right down here, take it to your email client, and you've got a client memo ready to go. So just wanted to show that off quickly today because it was applicable to what we saw earlier in the week. But let's go ahead and dive into EB2 NIW work. So this can be a really painful process. You're often dealing with a lot of letters. We're dealing with a lot of documents. I think in this case, we've got 41 in this test case, and we're going to walk everybody through just some good playbooks to use, some good prompts that you might be able to use to jump off this work. And so let's go ahead and I'm going to share your screen now. So take us through what we're seeing here. What are we seeing in this project?
Yeah, so what I've done is I just created a project within Visalaw here. So I've come in, and I'll actually just back up a second. I'll jump back to the main dashboard here within projects. But I created this one earlier this morning, and all you would have to do as far as creating a project is click New Project in the top right here. Once we click that, you'll have two options, General or Case. So general would be more of like a document type or maybe an RFE if you're creating a project for that. And then case, which is the example I've used today where I gave it a project name here. I came down and clicked the case type, or I'm sorry, once I click the project type case, I can input the client name and then the case type down here. So obviously we're doing this for an EB2 NIW. I could input the client number, maybe a short description, and maybe I want to include some team members as well here. But I'll just jump into the one I created here for today's webinar. Now, any project you create within Visalaw, it's always going to look similar to this with these four windows. So you can see I have this main chat in the top left, just like I do when I typically log into Visalaw on the main dashboard. So any new legal research or questions I want to ask in this chat here, all that history will live in the bottom right. So as you can see, I've ran a couple of these test chats earlier. If I wanted to come in and maybe open one of these chats again, you can always do so here. In the top right, you'll see all the project details. So my client information, case number, if I input that, or even my case management system, if I wanted to link that. And then lastly, all the files in the bottom left. So in this example, I've uploaded 41 specific documents. And one thing I really like within the projects now is any documents you upload here within the chat, you'll have a window that says the AI has context of all 41 files, or 50 if that's how many you input. So maybe just a more simpler way, and I'll walk us through some prompts here in a second, but you can ask any questions just against these documents. So if you wanted to summarize specific points or maybe ask for strengths, weaknesses, you can just do that pretty quickly here after uploading those files. But I'll move us on to this first prompt. What do you say, Ian?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So with this test case, there's some flaws that we're looking for that we're going to look to try to point out and figure out within these prompts. And so the first one that Will is running here is asking, based on the materials that we have provided, which are our documents as well, state the proposed endeavor for this NIW petition, then assess whether it is described with enough specificity, easy for me to say, for the Dhanasar prong 1 analysis, or whether it reads as a description of the beneficiary's current job duties. Quote the language that drives your assessment. So we should get this in pretty good detail from Visalaw AI. And one thing, Will, as this is running, if you could increase the size of your screen, maybe that might help some people view. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Hopefully that helps people if you can see this a little bit more. So this is going to catch, hopefully, some of the issues that we have within this set of documents that we're working with today. This is, probably one of the most common NIW denial drivers. It's one that we can catch pretty easily, pretty quickly here, and figure out before we start drafting whether we need to get some additional documents or work out some of the things that with our client ahead of time. So this is going to be running here for the moment. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's running through a lot of documents, and it's working through our law library. So it's working through quite a bit of data to get you this answer. But you should see a pretty detailed response here as we get this generated. And just as we go through this, there will be a few things here that you can do. You often working through this in stages. You may have the initial triage where you just have the CV or proposed work statement and maybe an impact summary. And you can run this as well for that. Right now, we have got all of our documents just to save some time. We've got them all in here, but you may be working with smaller amounts of documents in the initial phases as you work through these cases. So we're getting our answer here. You can see it's pulling those direct quotes as we asked it to and giving us some an overview, initial statements, and a conclusion, as well as our follow-up research questions. So let's go back up to the top here, Will. And so what is this proposed endeavor it's stating here?
Yeah, let's go down. There we go.
All right, so we're going to continue developing AI-driven grid optimization technologies that improve the stability and reliability of U.S. electrical infrastructure, so on and so forth. And the declaration says the same thing. So the endeavor is not just working as an engineer, it's framed around a particular technical undertaking. And so we've got those listed out here as well. And so let's see what it says here. Is this specific enough for prong 1? And the assessment from Visalaw AI is it is specific enough. And then it lays out sort of why, and it gives us some additional details here as well. So this is really beneficial. This can really speed up your research. If you're a paralegal who might be triaging this and working through this initially, you get some really clear initial understandings here. Will, what are we seeing right now that you have pulled up?
Yeah, so I just clicked into this USCIS citation here. So it just referenced the page it's pulling from and highlights in the yellow text for us.
Absolutely. So there you can see how the context of the answer is being generated. So you can find that, bring that up, verify it, all the important things that you need as you work through this case summary. And it continues to give us some additional stuff based on what we asked in our initial prompt. And so it's giving us these answers here. And we can continue to roll through this, obviously, here. So what does the conclusion say here, Will?
Yeah, so the proposed endeavor is developing AI-driven grid optimization technologies for U.S. electrical infrastructure with a technical focus on predictive load balancing and real-time anomaly detection for large-scale transmission systems to improve reliability and support renewable integration.
Awesome. And so it does say it's specific enough for the prong one analysis, but it is not cleanly framed as a distinct endeavor separate from the beneficiary's current job duties. So as written, it's vulnerable to being read as what he does at work rather than a more clearly articulated national interest endeavor. So these are things that we're going to need to clean up. And so what we'll go ahead and do, Will, is we can run or show our second prompt here.
Great.
And so this is going to be a prompt that you're running here. It says, build a table of every document in this file. For each one, give exhibit name, what it actually establishes, which prong it supports, 1, 2, 3, or none, and whether it is a primary source document or a summary assembled after the fact. Flag any document that supports no prongs. So what we should see here is that some of the prongs are more supported. We should see whether or not these prongs are supported at all. And so this will save us some time. It's going to build a really helpful, I always like seeing things visually personally. So, and that's what we should get is sort of a visual documentation of these things. This is going to create a really helpful table that you can probably, copy and paste and share with colleagues who are working on this with you as well. And so this can help us understand all the files that we have and all of the evidence and supports that we have once you have, all the things that you need. So this is probably a little bit further along in the steps where you've probably already done some document triage. You've already worked with the client to get your supporting evidence. And we're probably on the initial steps here leading up to drafting. So here it's going to give us some explanations here. And as this is answering, if anybody has any questions, we're happy to answer those and get you the right resources if you'd like. So you can see it's building this table here. All right. Excellent. All right, so we have the table here, and this is going to be a helpful answer for us. So as you can see, we have the side-by-side table. So as we go through these, you do get, for example, this first one, it's a peer review source emails. So we can see what it establishes, some direct editorial. If you can scroll down a little bit for me, Will. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, so you can see on the prongs which are supported. So prong 2 here for the first one, or in this for the research impact notes, none are supported in this one, and then 2, 1, 2, 1, 3 as we go through here based on the rest of the evidence that we have uploaded in our documents. So this gives you you can see 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 throughout all of this. So you can see that a lot of our prongs in this example are actually supported a little bit more heavily than others. So we may want to balance that out. So, we also have some documents that don't support it at all. So as we scroll down here, Will, this is excellent. So this is, it lays out here our no prong exhibits. And we have those. We can single those out, figure out what we should do with those. It's flagged just like we had asked. Some practical synthesis here. Prong 2 is probably got the most evidence. Prong 3, though, is a bit thinner, and it mostly depends on a few forward-looking or national benefit documents. So if we can see here what to do first. It gives us some stuff to do. Separate the exhibits into 3 folders so that we have those listed out. Keep the no prong exhibits out of the merits discussion, use them only for identity and status housekeeping, and we can strengthen prong 3 with more direct evidence. There are a few follow-up research questions that we could be asking in this scenario, but for our purposes, we are not going to do that here today. but these are always helpful to have, these extra exhibits. So I think one thing that we need to do at this point, Will, is run an independence check for these letters.
Sure.
And so we're going to do that here. We've got another prompt that we're going to put in. And this is where I'll mention, the prompts that we're running here today. These are sort of generally things that we've just typed up on our own, things that we've used from our legal team, and they're sort of what I call medium level prompts. They're not like one line, like, hey, what is this? Like we ran on the file insights. These are a little bit more deeper. They ask for specific things, but they're also not super high level prompts. They're not the same kind of prompts you might find in our skills library. We do have these sort of laid out for you. And we have really advanced level prompts that could be used if you're using them repeatedly. But you can also create your own prompts. You can write them yourself if you feel up to it. We also have you can edit any of our existing prompts, and you can also create your own with AI. So you can do that with the skills button down there in the chat interface next to our head. Yes, exactly. So for this one, we asked cross-reference every letter writer in this file against the author lists of the beneficiaries' publications, their employer, their degree granting institution, and their funded project team. And for each letter, state the signer's relationship to the beneficiary, whether the letter is labeled independent or dependent in this packet, and whether the label is accurate. Flag any mismatch. Also flag any two-letter writers who share an institutional address. So this is going to help us figure out what letters we have for this and what we need to do. So what we should notice here as this is answering, we have some people who are on papers and they're filed as independent letters. So let's see if we can see this. So once we get this, so here we go. Gives us also why it matters. We appreciate that. So that's good, obviously, for me and Will, as since we are not practitioners like you guys are. So that's very helpful for us. And you see it's pulling obviously things from the USCIS policy manual as well. And so let's see what it says for this cross-reference here a little bit lower. All right, so we see one limitation. The project team materials in this file are staffing and role records. They do not provide a clean, full roster of named project team members for all projects. So I can only identify a funded project team overlap when the file makes it clear enough to do so confidently. So we appreciate that heads up from it. So here is our letter by letter cross-reference table. So we do see here there was no match found on a few of these. No match found, no match found. And then we do have some here. And this one is a co-author on a publication. So we are going to have to make sure that this is described correctly across our items. So let's scroll over on this table, Will, a little bit and pull this. So we do see some additional things. We can go back up to our headings, make sure we are seeing this correctly. So we can find our cross-reference match publication, the employer in this middle column, and the reference cross-reference match degree granting institution as well. So you see all this detail, and there might be even some more information further to the right. So you can see it's a really you can see the full analysis here. So again, we have more cross-reference match for project teams. Again, this is a lot of matching and figuring out that you're going to need to do. You've got Visalaw AI that can do this for you. This is a really, really powerful tool here. You get the packet label, and is that label accurate? And that is sort of the crux of the things. And is the label accurate in the flag? So we have this here. So we have a few that we are going to have to flag. So you can see here, this is some direct contributions there. No flags for some of these, as they've got the correct cross-referencing flag. An employer letter is not independent, so that's something that we'll want to highlight. So if we scroll back over, let's see what that is, Will. Let's see, yeah, just to the left here.
All the way?
All the way. Let's go all the way. And so we can see the letter and the sender as well. So all of that cross-referenced in this table, which is great for us as we work through this. So this, this is a check that you would have to do manually across all of these letters, multiple authors, and it takes us just a few seconds. We can verify those things quickly now, now that we've got it all laid out for us as well. So we do have some mismatches also laid out here, actual label mismatches, helpfully aligned for us here, in our A, B column, substantive non-independence flags. Again, all this hopefully is actually really, really helpful for you. So we can just scroll all the way down here now. We'll some more flags for us to take. So our conclusion as well, and some what to do's, as well as follow-up research questions. So, God, we did that pretty quickly. Will, that was pretty quick. I think we did that in about 15 minutes. And we're a little bit less than 5 minutes away from time. And I know we went through that quickly and it was a lot of information. So I want to make sure if anybody has any questions, we can answer those right now. So feel free, if you do have questions, let us know at this moment. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and run another prompt here. So we're now going to produce some sort of next step action items. We're going to produce 3 deliverables. First, an attorney strategy memo organized by the prongs with a file or hold recommendation. Top 5 risks ranked by likelihood of causing a denial. Second, the client-facing document request. And we're going to try to group this in categories. And also, the third thing is a paralegal task list. So it separates out those things and let them know what they can do. Because again, I think ultimately we're showing you this playbook, and we're also happy. I've got some prompts, some additional things that you can use for NIWs, for EB2s, if you want. And I'll put my email in the chat if you want to get those. So just let us know, and I'm happy to get you those. I'm also happy to answer any questions you have stemming from today's sources. We've shown you a few, sort of a 4-step workflow that you can take here, and we went through it very quickly. So again, happy to answer any questions you may have. But I think ultimately that we hope that, maybe you don't do this word for word, may not match everything that you do in your workflow. But this would be a helpful, hopefully jumping off point for you to show you some of the capabilities that you can have with Visalaw AI, with our immigration data set that's giving you these authoritative answers and working through these large data files. You have a lot of things that you're working with at once. Frontline AI models are not capable of dealing with as much data at one time as we are. And so, you can do this really flexibly. We've shown you some prompts. We've got the prompts. I'm happy to share those with you. But again, it's very open-ended. You can do this, based on what your workflow is, or whether you just need, to just, there's so many possibilities that hopefully we've shown you just a few ideas, and you can sort of tailor those to how you use them yourself. And Will, I know you talk to a lot of immigration attorneys and teams who are adopting this both in small contexts, also with larger teams. So you see that, I'm sure you can attest, there's lots of different ways that people use Visalaw AI because it is a flexible tool. It's a knowledge management tool. Would you agree?
100%. Yeah, exactly. It looks like we finally got a response here.
All right.
Pretty in depth.
Absolutely, as it should be. We asked for several things, and so you see the deliverables that are marked out as well, and so you can see the different things that it's giving us. So obviously, very in-depth answer on this one, and we have all of this in our chat history as well. You might be working with a team and need to come back to some of these, and so you've got these. So we can scroll back up to the top. Again, a very long answer here. Get your overview. You got a lot of things in here. Again, probably not easy for you guys to catch all of this at one time. If you do want any copies of today's outputs, we're happy to provide those to you as well. Just send me an email. And if you have a question, will this recording be available to watch later? Yes, absolutely, it will be. Just check your email here in a few minutes. It should come out about 5 minutes after we conclude the live event. So we've got this. We've got our overview here. very dense paragraph. We're probably not going to read this out to you live, but we have our deliverables. We have our attorney strategy memo that we might hand off if we're an associate or a paralegal who's starting this process for the attorney, and hand this off to them, as well as our other deliverables as well. Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of information in here. As I'm gonna let Will scroll through this just a little bit, but hopefully what you've seen here today is, we figured out some of the problems that we have with the letters that we have. We sort of got our hands around what prongs are supported by the evidence we have. We built some next step items here as well. I also showed you how to use the law library and how to look up specific files that were published, and see how things are added here, as Will shows you the paralegal and client tasks as well. It's helpful workflow stuff for you too. But everything we found today was already in the files. There were things that you would have had to find manually otherwise, or would have been found in your manual processes one way or the other. And it saves a lot of time. We just did a process that could take anywhere. I mean, you guys are the people who are doing this every single day. How long would these processes, each individual task here, have taken without having sort of the ability to go through this, and instead of doing it manually, being able to go through and verify the work because it already existed, the evidence already existed in these files. It's just a matter of bringing it all together. So again, I think the bottom line here, Will, is Visalaw AI, we're not designing any of this to replace your legal judgment. It's here to support your legal judgment, help you uncover these things and get to the things that really matter. Supporting your clients, working collaboratively with your team, and making sure that you've got the strongest petitions possible up front that you can send to USCIS so that we can avoid getting RFEs. We know that RFEs are way up. We know that NIW our NIWs are getting a lot more of those, and it's more difficult than ever to be an immigration attorney. So hopefully this tool, if you're using it or you're just learning about it, can be really, really helpful for you. So Will, anything else you want to add here today that we have not covered? I'm going to put up on the screen before we answer that a link to our newsletter if you want to follow up. It's a great next step you can take. But if this is your first time learning about Visalaw AI, you can also book a demo. You can do that on our website. And what will you can talk to Will, and Will, what do people get in these demos?
Yeah, that was the last thing I was going to suggest is anyone that's new, you can schedule a demonstration with us where we'll meet with you for about 45 to 60 minutes. The first 5 minutes is really just kind of understanding your practice, how you're doing things today, where then we can tailor a demonstration from there. And after that demonstration, we're happy to also set you up for a trial period.
Yeah, 2-week free trial with Visalaw AI, and really is the best next step you can take if you're not a current user, is to talk to Will, talk to Josh, talk to Tyler, and talk to Jack. And just learn how you might be able to use Visalaw AI in your work. It can be really intimidating to bring AI into your processes. It's always hard to change things and how you do things, but we think that this will save you so much time and help you create more accurate and more effective petitions in the long run. That we're happy to work with you on that and get you set up with our team and our customer success team as well. So anyway, we don't want to take up any more of your time today. This was another quick one on EB2s, NIWs. We're going to have our drafting session, show you how we draft. We take the next step here and we draft these petitions on Thursday. So be on the lookout for that to come through in your email to sign up for that. You can find it as well on our LinkedIn and find the link to register there. Again, you can sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date on all of these things, get these events, get these webinars, get these updates, the latest updates from us, and just stay in touch. We'd love to hear from you. If you have anything else that you want to reach out to me about, you can send me an email here, ian@visalaw.ai. Otherwise, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Will, for your time here today. And we look forward to hearing from you guys soon.